Hello everybody, it's your friendly neighborhood Godzilla fan, JurassicZilla here, back at it again with another video. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing all of the Godzilla x Kong The New Empire 6-inch Playmates figures. That is right, that includes Godzilla and Kong, and Shimu and Scar King. And also, I will also be doing Doug and Suka. Even though they're not the 6-inch figures, I thought I may as well include them. So I'm going to be including all of those in this short little mini review. I won't be including any of the bigger ones because I simply don't have that yet. Same with the RC Godzilla. But anyways, let's get right into this video, shall we? Just your friendly neighborhood Godzilla fan. First, I will be starting off with their Godzilla Evolved figure. Now, I don't have the boxes because the boxes are stored away in my closet over there. So I'm only going to be showing off the figure, just talking about certain details and giving my overall thoughts about the figure. So first off, I just want to get this out the way. Let's just take a look at that face. Yeah. The face isn't really the best on this Godzilla. I think the teeth are, they're good enough. It's really just the eyes. They painted the eyes way too big, and if I actually had the box, on the box, his eyes are a lot better. But on the actual figure, they're just, they're crazy looking. Front on, it doesn't look too bad, to be honest, but from the side, they're just a little bit too big. Overall, the neck is a lot thicker here than the Godzilla vs. Kong Playmates one. And also, we can see some tan highlights on it as well. Overall, Godzilla's color is this nice little, dark grayish blue type color, with the chest being very tan, and it seems like a little bit of dark green in there. And also, the dorsal plates, look at that. So, on here we have the translucent dorsal plates. That means they kind of glow a little bit if you shine a certain light at it. The top parts don't have it, they're just painted normally. The tail has it though, and as you can see, his little Stegosaurus-like tail looking pretty great. I will say though, the color here, the dorsal plates here are a lot more redder than they look in the actual movie. His dorsal plates down here, the little smaller ones, look more like how they do in the movie. They're more pinkish. But here, they're definitely more red. But you can definitely tell the difference. Look how much longer his dorsal plates are, especially this middle one here. We can definitely tell that they are definitely growing larger. And another thing I want to point out is his little elbow spikes here. As you can see, they are supposed to be pink, but they didn't paint them pink. Honestly, it doesn't bother me too much, but it does just kind of blend in with his body. The paint on the tail is pretty decent. I like the fading that they do here. And then the Stegosaurus, I just call it the Stegosaurus-like tail. The Stegosaurus tail here looks pretty good, and it has enough detail to where it still looks like Godzilla's dorsal plates. You can definitely see the little lines and marks on there. What's really great is the painted claws. As you can see, they did bother painting the claws here a little tannish color, just like his chest. Same with the toenails here, which is pretty awesome indeed. Now, in terms of articulation, it's basically the same. The arms can kind of move. Godzilla's in this grabbing kind of position where he's like, oh, I'm gonna grab you or something like that. His legs are in a walking position, so this leg is gonna be out a bit more than this one. But the legs, they can move just like any of the other Godzilla figures. The tail comes separately, so you're gonna have to push the tail on. Once you get it on, it can kind of move a little bit just like that. Not really too much, but also it's good enough. And here is a quick little comparison to the Godzilla vs. Kong Godzilla here. As you can see, this Godzilla is a little bit taller here. If we look at the dorsal plates, you can definitely see the change in them. You see how these are a bit wider, and then these are definitely a lot skinnier. Let's look at the chest real quick here. This one doesn't have the little slash mark, battle damage on the chest. But we can definitely see he's a lot more bluer, and he's got this tan going down the chest. In terms of the face, I definitely like the face on this guy a little bit better. You know, I'd say he's still pretty good though. The tail, we can see a tail comparison here. Yeah, he's definitely got that Stegosaurus tail just growing out of nowhere, but it does look pretty awesome. And we can see the body comparison. We can see he's a lot skinnier, but he does have more bulkiness up to where his shoulders are. And he is just, you know, kind of like fat, if I will say. But yet again, I still think the skinniness on him does look a tad bit weird, especially right here. As you can see here, he just looks more bulky, you know, he just looks a little bit stronger. But anyways, we can even see the arm difference here. The arms here are definitely a lot longer. But honestly, a pretty nice comparison, I will say. I definitely do like both of these figures a lot. Overall, for Godzilla Evolved, I think I'll give this figure a solid 8 out of 10. For a Playmates figure, it's actually pretty well done. Now, of course, let's move on to Kong. Kong honestly might be one of my favorites out of the Playmates figures. This guy just looks pretty great. His face actually looks very accurate to the movie as well. He has the new slash marks from Godzilla right here. And then, of course, his Beast glove, which has some random numbers and letter on it. I don't know. What does that say? THSP, something like that. A bunch of like random stuff here. But I really like Kong here. Kong is a lot like the first Playmates, Godzilla vs. Kong, but he feels a lot rougher. He's definitely a lot heavier than the first one, and the face is a lot different. But there's not really a lot to talk about with the paint. He's just this very dark brown color. And then the arm, you know, yellow. You got a little bit of gray here for the metallic metal type stuff. The mouth is actually really well done, I will say. The teeth look pretty good. Mouth looks pretty awesome. The eyes, he looks very angry, so that's really cool. I guess let's talk about the articulation real quick. The articulation on Kong is so good. I really love how they do it, because like the shoulder can move here, but then there's a little part here where it can move. Let me go on the other arm, because on the other arm, his hand actually can turn a little bit, if you can see right there. On this hand, it doesn't, because his Beast glove is kind of covering it. His head can turn, he can look around. The legs, one of the best parts. It has, I think, what, 2 points? Yeah, 2 main points. So you have this point right here. If you can see it, there you go. That little point there, and then you have the knee point where you can bend his legs. So if you want, you can make him sitting down if you want, or you can make him like jumping up in the air. He can do some very amazing poses, and I really love the articulation on this Kong figure. Sadly, I'm not going to be able to get the other Godzilla vs. Kong to compare it with, because you can't see him, but he's all the way up there on a very high shelf, and I don't want to really take him down. But if anything, compared to their Godzilla vs. Kong, this one is definitely a lot darker and heavier. And I definitely prefer this one more. Honestly, I'd give this guy a 10 out of 10. I think it's kind of perfect, to be honest. Especially for a Kong figure. I would actually recommend getting this over the SH Monster Arts Kong. It just looks more accurate. It's only $10. And I mean, for being $10, it looks great. You got some really awesome articulation. He can do some very amazing poses. Good job on this Kong figure, Playmates. It's probably my favorite one so far. Next up, we're going to have Scar King here. Now let me get Kong real quick, because if you can see, Scar King is actually a little bit shorter than Kong. I thought Scar King would be like maybe this big compared to Kong, but in reality, he's like that big. So this guy is pretty short, but anyways, let's review him. So first, let's just take a look at him. He's got some very nice blue eyes there. The fur detail is very good. He has like these weird red lines. I'm assuming that's kind of like paint that he put on him, kind of like how his face, it looks like he has face paint. Because as you can see, that's the fur, and then there's like this flat red line. So I'm assuming he put some like paint over him a little bit to make him more intimidating. It's very interesting though that you can see his hands and his face are actually white there, and it seems his fur is red. So I don't know if he painted his whole entire fur to be red in the movie, or if he just has red fur and he has this bone-like actual skin. That'd be pretty amazing and interesting to see. Also, yes, he does kind of look like raw steak. Well, overall, the paint is pretty solid. Let's take another look at that face real quick, a little close-up. Yeah, that's a pretty mean-looking face, I will say. He kind of looks surprised a little bit there. But let's quickly talk about the articulation. The head can move a little bit like that. The arms are pretty long, I will say. He's like Kong's, but except it's more skinnier, so that can move. That part can move right there, can bend like that. Ugh. And the fists can turn. Same thing with the other arm. He has this ab thing where he can bend. Look, he can look up and down, kind of. He can go side to side. Listen to that sound. Don't worry, it's not like breaking anything, but it does make a squeaky sound, just letting you guys know. But yeah, he can kind of look like that. The legs, basically the same as the arms. It can get in this nice little stepping position if you wanted to, or you can make them go straight out. They can't really go back that far. The most he can go back is that, to make it look like, I don't know, he's sitting on his knees or something. But besides that, the legs cannot really rotate all the way around. But that is alright. Now let's talk about this whiplash thing that he has on him. So it's going to come like this, and all you do is just pull that piece out like that. And then let's take a look at this real quick. So this is the Whiplash, Scar King's weapon that he has in the movie. And as you can see, it definitely is looking like a war bat skeleton. You can even see right here, this is definitely a jaw. This one doesn't have the fangs like the war bat does. But either way, this is definitely some sort of snake creature. It is very, very flexible. And the fact that he's supposed to put it in his hand like that, it just clicks in. Oop, his head. And there's his little whiplash ability to... So it's definitely some sort of snake-like creature. That's probably why this skeleton is able to stay together without, like, breaking apart or anything. And, yeah, I think Scar King's weapon is very unique. Something we really haven't seen much of in the MonsterVerse or in Godzilla media as a whole. So it's very cool, and I do wonder if he's going to have any more powers because... hey, he does have those bright blue eyes, and I kind of doubt that he's only going to have this whiplash, and that's the only weapon he's going to have, and there it goes, like that. Yeah, what if in the movie it just slips out of his hand, and boom, he has no weapons. But anyways, that's going to be it for Scar King. I think Scar King is actually very unique, and it's different enough from the Kong figure to where it still feels like two different things. As you can see, Scar King is a lot skinnier. Either way, I honestly think I'll give this figure like a 7 or 8 out of 10. I'd say, you know what, I'll give it an 8.5. I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's pretty good. The articulation is good, and it comes with an accessory, and that's always nice. Next up, we have the Shimu figure right here. And I'll just say this right now, this figure probably might be my favorite figure from the Godzilla x Kong line. And the reason for that is because of how unique this guy is. But let's get into it. First, let's talk about the paint, because the paint isn't really much. It's just a solid white color all throughout with this nice dark blue purplish crystals on the head here, as you can see right there, like that. On the back and on the tail. Yet again, I will say, good job, Playmates, for painting it going all the way up to the end of the tail. He or she, I still don't really know yet, has some nice little blue dots for eyes, and the mouth, only the tongue is painted. For some reason, the mouth isn't painted red. I don't know if it's going to be red in the movie or if it's going to be white. Either way, yeah, just the tongue. But that's good. Let's talk about the articulation. The articulation is very unique to Shimu because in terms of Godzilla monsters, we don't really have a lot of Godzilla monsters that walk on 4 legs like this. The only one I can really think of is Anguirus, and also maybe even Baragon. So it's also nice to get a nice 4-legged creature back in the Godzilla franchise here. But Shimu is able to walk on 2 legs. The figure doesn't really show it off that well, but in the movie, Shimu is also supposed to be able to walk on 2 legs. And if we compare it to Godzilla here, Shimu is actually pretty big, I will say. He's not bigger than Mechagodzilla or Ghidorah, I don't think. But as you can see, pretty tall, I will say. But in terms of articulation, let's do the legs first, because the arms have a special thing that I really like. Alright, so the legs. It's really it for the legs. The tail pops on yet again, and the tail can actually do a whole little swing, go all the way around. The tail's very, very nice. And then the head can go up and down. It can't really go to this. Oh no, it can go to the side. Never mind. It can go all the way around. The mouth can open very, very wide, as you can see. Very wide mouth. And then the arms. You might think, oh, the arms just go up and down. Well, actually, the arms can go out as well. And you can have Shimu in the classic T pose. What an amazing creature. And if you guys don't know, I have Shimu normally sitting up over there, and normally they're in this T pose because it's just so funny. Also, the hands can turn, so that's really cool. But yeah, also you can get Shimu in some very amazing poses, I will. So you can make it looks like it's swimming. Look at that. I really love this figure. Its articulation is very fun, and I just really like it. But really, there's not really much else to do besides, if you want to see, Scar King sitting on top of Shimu, like how apparently he's supposed to do in the movie. So that looks pretty good. You know, gonna have Scar King riding Shimu. Get out of here. But anyways, that's gonna be it for Shimu. There's nothing really else to say. Yet again, Shimu does come with an ice beam. And I also should have mentioned that with the Godzilla. The Godzilla does come with an atomic breath. I just don't have it out right now. It's away somewhere, but yeah, Shimu does come with a ice beam. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. But yeah, honestly, the Shimu figure is a 10 out of 10. I really love this guy. I really hope something like SH Monster Arts or someone like that makes a figure, so we can also get another super articulated Shimu, because I actually really like it. It's really good. Now let's talk about Suka. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Which is supposed to be Kong's little adopted kid in the movie right here. Suka is very interesting here. I just want to talk about the articulation real quick, because Suka is very loose. The arms and legs, they move so easily. It just feels like, I don't know. Look at that. They move so fluidly. I really like it. But now let's talk about like the face here. As you can see, Suka has a scratch going across the eye. I wonder who could have possibly made that scratch. Doug, hopefully it wasn't you, dude. You're one of my favorite guys. Don't hurt Suka. But anyways, we got Suka with some nice green eyes. Kong has orange eyes, so I wonder whose kid this is. It's in this nice brown color, a lighter brown than Kong, representing Scar King a little bit more. You know, the body structure is pretty normal, not anything super muscular, but also not super skinny. The arms are very long here, and they can kind of move like that. In terms of articulation, head can turn, arm can go up and down. This part where the elbow arc can turn, the hands can turn. Same for the other arm. And legs, the legs are actually very posable. You can do a whole bunch of stuff with the legs. You can make Suka sitting down, chilling out. The legs can go back about that far. You can make Suka doing the splits if you want to. And yeah, that's really gonna be it for the Suka figure. There's not really a lot to talk about, but it does also come with this little rock thing. I have absolutely no clue what that's supposed to do in the movie. Apparently he's supposed to use it as a weapon and throw it at somebody. But here is Suka, the almighty Suka, meditating or doing some all-powerful move. Oh geez. Anyways, let's get into Doug real quick, because as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Doug from Godzilla vs. Kong. And to finally have a figure of Doug is just beautiful. Let's get a little bit closer here. Look at these details. Not really a lot of details or different paint. Doug is kind of black all throughout. The teeth are actually painted individually though, if you look at that. if my camera can actually focus, but the teeth are actually painted very well. Very good job, Playmates, I will say. The eyes are one solid color. Here's the tail here. Same paint all throughout right here. In terms of articulation, the legs can move like that. Oh, look at his little kick. Same with that leg. This leg can do the same thing. Tail, yeah, just goes in a little circle here. Something I will notice though, do want to mention, Doug has a 12-pack. If you can see, look at that. Let's count. Let's see if I can. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wow, Doug has a 12-pack. Not even Godzilla or Kong has a 12-pack. They have 8 packs. So Doug is definitely going to be very strong here, and I really like it. Nice bumpy texture. Pretty small, I will say, compared to the Godzilla. Yeah, Doug is very small, but also big enough to be Godzilla's little friend, you know. Pretty awesome. So here is Doug and Suka right next to each other right here. They look very good. We have to have a scene where Suka rides on Doug into battle. Dude, just imagine Godzilla and Kong, Scar King, Shimu, they're all fighting each other, and then Suka comes in riding on Doug, running into battle. He gets his rock and throws it right at Scar King's face. Oh my god, imagine that. That'd be crazy though. But anyways, I think that is going to be it for today's video. I technically didn't rate them yet. This Suka thing, I guess an 8 out of 10, nothing super special. Doug, 1 billion out of 10. Love this guy. But anyways, that's going to be it for all of the figures right here. And hope you guys enjoyed this short little mini review for each of the Playmates figures. If I do end up getting the bigger ones, I'll definitely try and do a review on them. But that is going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me which figure you guys like the most in the comments. And tell me if you have any of these figures. And if you do, which one is your favorite. But yet again, that's going to be the end of today's video. And as always, have a great Godzilla day. Bye-bye.